Hello everyone, and welcome to the inaugural video of the New York Driver. I live in New York City. Obviously I'm not there right now. I am in Orange County, New York, which is north of there. I actually live in New York City, but I work. I'm a music teacher and I teach up in Rockland County, New York. So I do the reverse commute, which is nice. I'm up here to show you my brand new Hyundai Sonata N-Line that I just leased for the next 3 years, and it's a great car. Obviously no car is perfect. First I'll give you a brief walk around. I apologize if it's a little shady, but it is 95 degrees out today, so a little bit hot. First I'll give you a quick walk around. I'm going to start with my car. It's a lot of fun. Show you what it's like to drive on these fun back roads up here in Orange County, and we'll go to other places and expand to other cars, but I'll start with mine. Styling, of course, is very subjective. Everybody has their own opinion. I think this car looks great. Some people think it's a catfish because the daytime running lights go all the way up to here, but I think it's very modern and unique. The N-Line has a specific grille. I'll try to get a little bit closer. That's blacked out and has this cool pattern here. You can actually see, hopefully, the regular radiator, and then there's the intercooler. This car has a 2.5 liter turbo. It makes 290 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque, all on regular gas, sent to the front wheels only, which can be an issue sometimes, excuse me, in terms of power. Nice big brakes. The brakes are actually, I believe, 0.8 inches bigger in the front and 1 inch bigger in the rear. I could be mixing that up, front and rear, but much bigger brakes. The brake pads are made of an N-Line specific compound, so it grips really well, holds on. This car has great brakes, stops really well, very confidence inspiring. The tires that come with the car are great. They're Pirelli P0 all-season tires, and they have a lot of grip. They're 245 width. This car could still use a limited slip diff in the front or all-wheel drive to help when you're starting out, but as long as you're gentle with the throttle when you start. It does have launch control, since this is an 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. Performs great. If you don't know what a dual clutch is, it's basically two manual transmissions linked together, shifted by the computer. It's a wet dual clutch, so it's bathed in oil, so it should help with long-term reliability. Sorry for the mess. I have 3 kids. They are 11, 7, and 2. And the trunk is plenty big to fit all of our stuff. I know there's a massive SUV craze right now. Probably will be for a while. And I had a RAV4, and I had a Mazda CX-5, I had a Mazda 6, I've had an Acura MDX, a certified pre-owned. This car is really fun. This is Napa leather and an imitation suede here, nice and comfortable. My oldest son sits here, and my 2-year-old sits here. And again, sorry about the mess. My 7-year-old sits right here, plenty of room, no problem at all. Really nice wheels, has N badging all over. I kind of wish there was an N badge here on the back of some sort, but not a big deal. This car has quad exhaust tips and a small rear diffuser, and the rear spoiler is actually built in to the back of the car. It has vortex generators. Yeah, I don't know how much all this actually does. I'm not going to be driving this car 200 miles an hour, but it looks cool, and it definitely adds to the aesthetic if it doesn't do anything in terms of the actual driving. One of the things I want to show you before we go for a drive is this. Looks fake here, this front grille, except it's open here and it's functional. And there's another opening here. See if I can show you that from this side. If you can see,
don't know if you can. There's an actual opening here, helps to create an air curtain around here and help to keep the brakes cool. This car is all about going fast and not a lot of money. It was about $33,000, and I'm doing a 3-year lease on it, so I will enjoy it. It'll be under warranty. It's hard to tell with my car. There's a lot of blacked out bits on the N-Line here and down here and over here. This color is great. It's a Portofino gray. It's an optional color that you pay extra for, but it's kind of hard to see the blacked out bits. It looks really nice. There's a panoramic sunroof, or as I like to call it, a panoramic moonroof, because I don't like to open it up when it's 95 degrees outside. Kind of makes it feel like you're driving in a greenhouse. And here's the interior. I actually have these pads here because I feel like the seats are a little bit firm for my taste. Really heavy bolstering here, really hold you in well, and you can actually adjust the bolstering here, right? Power seats. Unfortunately, the driver's seat, well, the driver's seat is power, but the passenger seat is manual. But really thick bolstering. I'm not a big guy. I'm like 6'1", like 220, but these are very tight on the normal settings, so definitely sit in these seats before you try it out. Of course, you should always go for a test drive, but I put these pads here and it's perfect. Right, it has a Sonata N-Line badging here, aluminum pedals, nice leather steering wheel, has red stitching. I'm not going to go too in detail about the infotainment and all that stuff. Maybe in future videos. There's a lot of guys on YouTube that do a lot of details with the interiors and stuff. I'd rather show you how it drives. So with that being said, let's hop in and go for a drive. All right, now that we're in the car, ready to go, this is how the gauges look. The Sonata N-Line gets this all digital gauge cluster. The Kia K5 GT just has analog with a little digital screen in the middle. Supposedly it's going to get updated for next year. This is how it looks in normal mode. I would not drive too much in normal mode unless I was looking for good fuel economy. It really sucks the power a lot. All right, so there's a drive mode over here. Go up into sport. Sport is what I usually drive in. Sport feels nice. It's not, you know, you still get good fuel economy and you get good power. The gauges change to this cool color. Sport Plus, I would not drive in too much. I've tried it. It automatically disables traction control, and that is a problem sometimes. So what I did was I went into custom mode, and it goes back and it looks like the normal mode, but I put it in Sport Plus for the powertrain, Sport for the steering, which makes it heavier, and I left traction control on. There's paddle shifters back here, which work really well. You know, this is not a Ferrari or Lamborghini, so it's not going to be lightning quick. It's not, you know, a Porsche PDK quick, but for a mid-size family sedan for the average Joe like me, it's awesome. So I'll let the car shift by itself at first just to show you what it's like in Sport Plus mode. Then I'll use some of the paddle shifters. So here we go. This push button shifter is a little weird at first, but like most things, like with the different infotainment and controls, after you have the car for a little while, you get used to it and it's not a big deal. So I'm gonna back out here and go on Fun Road, show you what it's like. Got my GoPro here, hopefully you guys can see well. Okay, first thing, actually, let me pull over. Just want to show you one or two more things. So put the car into park, parking brake over here. Let's show you the infotainment quick. This is a touchscreen. Obviously this is a 10.25 inch touchscreen. Works well. It's pretty quick. I have my Android phone here that I can hook up. Has a lot of settings. It has sounds of nature, which is kind of humorous actually. You can play all different settings. I'll show that to you quick. So you can have a lively forest. You can have calm sea waves. I don't know how useful that is, but turn that off. For now, I'm just gonna hit this button that I set to just turn it off, so it's like that. All right, sorry, I just didn't want to forget to show you that. Okay. So we're gonna go out here onto a road that's really fun to drive on. And you don't have to drive super fast to have a lot of fun. You know, I'm a music teacher, like I mentioned, and I'm not looking to get rich, you know, doing this, and this is just for fun, just to share with you guys what this car is like. But for the average Joe that's not going to go to a track and doesn't have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to spend on car parts to upgrade and track days and high performance driving schools, this car is a lot of fun. That's where I think some car reviewers kind of miss the mark a little bit with cars like this. Sometimes they get so used to driving BMWs and Mercedes and, you know, Porsches and stuff, and then they drive cars like this and they say, wow, there's tire spin and this and that and the other thing, yada yada, and they're not very enthused about it. But I think they forget sometimes that this car is built to a price point. It's built for the average person, and just doing what you should be doing and not going crazy to go to jail and get lots of speeding tickets or get into accidents. Just driving on these back roads is a lot of fun. And actually, I'll change the gauge cluster here. It has, besides the oil temp, it has a boost gauge, and it has a torque gauge, which is interesting because it's in Newton meters, which might be used in other countries around the world, but we definitely do not use Newton meters here in the US. So this road is a lot of fun. Again, I'm not really going nuts here, but I'm sure you can hear the engine. Again, I'm in Sport Plus with traction control on because it really spins the tires very easily with traction control off. So push it a little bit around these corners. It's beautiful up here in Orange County, and I'm sorry if you hear a lot of huffing and puffing on my part. I do not like really hot weather. I am not a hot weather person, and it's like 95 degrees out and 95% humidity, and I'm a little uncomfortable. But it's gonna rain the next few days, so I wanted to get out here and show you guys what it was like. And I'll go on other roads, but this is just like where I went to college in upstate New York, up in Potsdam. Really fun roads. And this car handles really well. Hyundai did a great job with the suspension setup for this car. It drives way different. I drove the regular Sonata. Besides having a lot less power, it's way softer, which is, you know, if that's what you like, then it's fine. This car's suspension is a lot firmer. I personally like it. It's firm, but it's not punishing. You know, you feel the bumps and stuff, but it takes the edge off, which is what I personally like, because I don't like driving floaty boaty cars. Back when I had my RAV4, I had all kinds of transmission problems with that car. I needed a new torque converter at 33,000 miles, which was crazy. And they gave me a Camry as a loaner while they were working on it. And man, that car, you didn't feel any bump in the road at all. But that's a problem though, because sometimes, for me at least, driving in the city, if you need to make an evasive maneuver, which you need to do, you know, taxi cut you off, all kinds of crazy stuff happens. The car feels like it can do anything until you push a little too hard, and then all of a sudden there's a lot of body lean and it just falls apart. It's not very confidence inspiring. So I think that's one thing sometimes people forget. You know, you want to have a car that at least has good handling, even if it's only once or twice, where you need to get out of a problem and you need to shift the car quick and you need to, you know, you know, cut over or something like that on the highway because, you know, somebody isn't watching, it's good to have a car that inspires confidence. All right, so that's a good idea of what the car's like in normal mode. In custom mode, I mean with the car shifting by itself. Now I'll use these paddle shifters, which shift really quickly. And if you really want to have some fun, you can keep it in gear, and it holds gears really well. The only problem is when you come to a stop, the car automatically goes back to automatic mode. In order to get it in manual mode, you have to hit the paddle shifters once you start going. But as you can see, this car can fly. And this dual clutch, I'll try to show you here when I downshift. It's quick. And then upshifts, really quick. Again, downshift, and it'll just sit right there in third gear. Again, 8-speed, wet, dual clutch. And I think they have the exhaust tuned. This actually has pumped in audio, which I have turned off. So all the sounds that you hear is with the pumped in audio off, because I don't like pumped in audio. No matter how good it is, it just sounds fake to me personally. And as an audiophile, I don't want engine sounds being pumped in through the speakers while I'm listening to music. So just a personal preference. Some fake engine noise is better for some people, some it isn't. You know, I tried to be as diplomatic as possible and not like, oh, this car is great because I think blah 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 blah. But it's my opinion, you know, and I wanted to show you what it's like. And we're coming up to a little roundabout here, so I'm gonna keep going on this road on the other side. Nobody around. So again, I'm in second gear, and if I want to, I can just hold it. Sounds nice. Handles the corners well. The 245 with ultra high performance all season tires help. There is a option for a summer tire from the factory with the Sonata N-Line. I decided not to do that because I drive this car all year round and I don't want to have to swap tires personally. So just the all seasons are great. Again, you know, I'm sure it would go, you know, 0.2, 0.3 seconds faster to 60, you know, and it's back roads I could probably do more. But I mean, honestly, this is fun. You know, there's a lot of car reviewers when they drive the Mazda Miata. I love Mazdas. I had a Mazda 6 right before this. Decided against getting another one because Mazda's going upmarket and they haven't updated stuff, and you know, they're still using the same old transmissions, the same old engines, and this car is much better than that car. But as I was saying, the Miata, you know, you have a lot of fun in that car even if you're not going fast, because you can feel what you're doing. You can drive around. And for me, growing up on Long Island, New York, and now living in the city, it's a real treat to come back here and drive these back roads like this. This car can really take corners well. I'd never do this with my family in the car. I think they would get very car sick. But you get a little straightaway here. This car really pulls hard. So Hyundai and Kia and Genesis, you know, they did a great job with this 2.5 turbo. It pulls really hard in the lower rev range. When you're up high in the rev range, it always pulls hard. The dual clutch is very responsive. Here's some more downshifts, upshifts, and this is my favorite part of this road. Stay on your side of the road, truck. It's beautiful scenery up here. Very relaxing. Fun to do. Again, some more downshifts. Because I'm doing this though, if I stopped, which I'm not going to do here, but if I stopped and tried to do a 0 to 60, the launch control would say conditions not met or something like that. Because if you do manual shifting, or if you have in Sport Plus a lot, you know, it's probably how they have it programmed. You know, they still want this transmission to be reliable long term. So if the engine temperature, if the transmission temperature is above a certain point, it's not going to let you do the launch control. But I mean, honestly, how often are you going to be doing a launch control in a mid-sized family sedan? But it's fun that it's there. It's fun. This is a great car. I hope you enjoyed seeing this drive in these fun back roads. I'm going to do more in-depth reviews with this car in the future, and hopefully get my hands on some more cars and drive on these roads, show you what it's like, compare them, and we'll have some fun. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this. If you really liked this video, or even if you sort of liked it, please click subscribe and give me a thumbs up. It would really help me get my channel started, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.